I have dealt with Norfolk Southern in my capacity as Borough Council President, and I was told in no uncertain terms by multiple different Pennsylvania departments, I've heard from DCED, from PUC, from PennDOT, that we've given away our power to do anything about these railroads. And when it was mentioned earlier that the quote from Norfolk Southern was, "We have over 200 years of experience," I was told we gave away our rights 200 years ago, actually was the quote that I was told in trying to deal with Norfolk Southern from a local government perspective. I was very struck and shocked and a little bit horrified earlier when it was mentioned that we have Department of Environmental Protection, we have emergency management, we have all of these different layers of things working together, focusing on statistical models, et cetera. But ultimately, it sounds as if the decision about what to do was just made by Norfolk Southern. And have we just given away our rights to do anything about these railroads that go through our communities? My law office, where I'm a sole practitioner, is across the street from a Norfolk Southern train track. If we have a derailment, I'll die that moment. So I'm very concerned that we have given away our power to do anything about these derailments. Is there anything that local government can do? Is there anything that we as state government can do to take back some of that power? What is the command structure such that it was just allowed to a decision to burn 5 cars worth of very terrifying materials to the average person? I'm not a scientist, but these things are terrifying to the average person. What kind of command structure is there, and what can we put in place, if anything, as legislators, to take back some of that power so that you don't have very educated, smart people looking at statistical models, but ultimately saying, okay, Norfolk Southern, if you want to burn your train cars full of stuff, I guess it's up to you.
I'm here with Kristen. We're in Darlington, Pennsylvania. We're halfway through a meeting here with several of the Pennsylvania state representatives. I saw you in the back here with this. I'm just curious, first off, I guess, what your take on all of this is, and why you're actually out here today to come see this.
Well, I applauded the last representative when she said, you know, we have no control over our federal railways. I mean, Norfolk Southern is dictating everything to us.
Thank you for that question. And as I indicated, you know, there is a legal argument of what legally that they can do under the federal laws. And I think that is an ongoing discussion of what is our ability. Obviously, when we're handling a large incident like this that is extremely complex, you never want to get to the point where you have to force one side versus the other side from a legal perspective and legal grounds. You want to be able to mutually come to a decision that makes sense for the local community, but also makes sense for what we're trying to accomplish. And I think that should be everybody's goal. I think the concern is, you know, is the decision being made based on a business practice? And that is the concern. The other thing that I will tell you from years of experience of doing this is you allow technical specialists to inform your decision. As an experienced incident manager, you do not allow technical specialists to make your decision on your behalf. And these are all the complexities that you run into when you run into situations like this. Between Governor Shapiro and Governor DeWine, we asked, how do we go from 1 car the night before that we're concerned about to 5 cars that morning? And what other alternative courses of action were considered? And at that point in time, the individuals at the command post that were working on behalf of Norfolk Southern made it very clear that they had over 200, and this is a quote from the call, they had over 200 years worth of experience working this, and that was their recommendation. And they would not provide us any other alternative courses of action.
I've had several people reach out to me with health concerns from the beginning of the incident until just today. I had 2, one from a first responder, another from a citizen. Both have been here at this resource center. Obviously, I want to thank Governor Shapiro for that resource center and for having your team here. And you've said you've done surveys. Has there been any diagnosis? Is there any connection between the coughs, the sore throats, headaches to this, or is it too soon to say?
I think it is too soon to say. We're still collecting surveys. We're going to collect surveys through the end of the month. And then really it's a matter of going back and looking at what those surveys show. Is there a pattern? And the information will be gathered and analyzed, and we should have some results, I hope, within a couple of weeks of finishing the surveys.
With what degree of certainty are we looking at here that what we are testing for is actually the threat that is in the ground, air, or water?
So we have made sure that those hundreds of them is included, the ones that were actually on this train, to make sure, we can talk about some of the testing around things like dioxin and other things like that, which are sort of ever present in the atmosphere at any given moment. But the testing is specific. There's another form of testing called SVOC testing, which is really around particulate matter, and that is what might come off during just a large fire, right? Like it's soot, it's smoke, it's the kind of damage that might occur and impact the respiratory issue around just a large kind of fire event with smoke, and that's about the plume and all of that. But the VOC testing will give you what you need in order to see the levels and the results.